Hey, y'all remember that McDonald's Monopoly game where like if you win, you get cash prizes and all that? It was rigged. You was never gonna win. How do I know that? Well, let me introduce you to the man who rigged it, an ex-cop by the name of Uncle Jerry. That's not his real name, but you knew that. His name was Jerome Jacobson, but everybody called him Uncle Jerry. They said, "Hey, yo, Unc." He said, who that?" They said, "Well, we're the Simon Marketing Agency. We heard you used to be police, so we'd like to hire you as our chief of security." You see, the Simon Marketing Agency was in charge of the Monopoly game for McDonald's. So they hired Uncle Jerry as their chief of security so he can guard the winning pieces. And Uncle Jerry was outstanding. He would follow employees to the bathroom, check their shoes, make sure there's no missing winning pieces, check everyone's bag before they went to work. At one point, he would peek over security guards and watch them type in their code like he was just joking. They'd be like, as they type in their code, he'd be like, "You fired? You should not let me see that code." And that's when the Simon Marketing Agency and McDonald's had a problem. They began to trust him. They said, "Jerry, you take your job seriously." He said, "I know." They said, "Boy, you don't even smile." He said, "I know." Jerry goes home, goes to his brother-in-law. He said, "Boy, I took one of them winning pieces from McDonald's. Them folk trust me. I'm gonna give it to you. You give me some of the money and then we good." His brother-in-law said, "Why can't you just win?" Jerry said, "Because if I win, it's gonna be suspicious." His brother-in-law said, "Oh, you smart, Jerry. Boy, when we get this money, I'm finna tell everybody." Uncle Jerry said, "Ooh, perhaps I've done too much." Jerry realizes if he keeps giving prizes to people he knows, it's eventually gonna trace back to him. So Uncle Jerry begins to find people he trusts so they can give out the prizes for him. But those people he trusts start giving those prizes to people they know too. In fact, one of Uncle Jerry's middlemen, another dude named Jerry, starts taking the prizes his damn self. His wife said, "Jerry," he said, not to be confused with Uncle Jerry. Yes, I'm the middleman, Jerry. She says, "You keep getting these prizes from Uncle Jerry and then cashing them out yourself or getting your brother to cash them out. Ain't they gonna catch on to you?" He said, "Nah, man." They caught on. And here's where things start to get wicked. You see, at this point, the scam is huge. Uncle Jerry is passing it along to a bunch of middlemen. Those bunch of middlemen are passing them on to a bunch of other people. It's so big that one of the people talks. They call in the FBI and leave an anonymous tip. "McDonald's Monopoly game, a scam. Look into these people." The FBI agent said, "Who this?" They said, "You ever heard of an anonymous tip?" Hangs up. The FBI does some digging and lo and behold, all the winners pretty much know each other. They said, "Oh, McDonald's scamming." They call McDonald's. They said, "You scamming." McDonald's said, "No. We sell our food at legitimate prices." The FBI said, "No, we talking about the Monopoly game." They said, "Oh." McDonald's said, "Man, we let the Simon Marketing Agency deal with all that. We just count the racks." FBI agent said, "Okay, well, it's a lot of money." And McDonald's said, "Boy, you know who we are? You think we care about some million here, million there?" The FBI said, "That makes sense." They go over to the Simon Marketing Agency. Simon Marketing Agency said, "Look, everything we do is legit. This is Uncle Jerry." Uncle Jerry said, "What's good?" Cool as a fan. Remember, ex-police. He said, "Let me show you how I do things." Shows them the whole process. They say, "That guy good. He don't even smile." He said, So the FBI is stuck. They go back to McDonald's. They say, "Look, you need to run another game. We gonna catch the winners in the act." McDonald's said, "Do whatever you want. All we do is talk money." FBI said, "Bet." This dude named Michael gets a ticket from Uncle Jerry. The FBI said, "Oh, we gonna deliver that prize personally." They bring a giant check to Michael, all dressed as McDonald's workers. They bring a camera crew, all that. They say, "Michael, congratulations." He said, "Man, y'all didn't have to come all this way." They said, "No, we wanted to." He said, "Bet, appreciate y'all." They put a wiretap on his phone. They leave. He picks up the phone. He said, "Boy, I can't believe them folk bought it. We scamming." The FBI said, "Gotcha." The FBI is able to connect all the dots and they keep hearing one common name, Uncle Jerry. So they bring everyone in, around 50 people, including Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry said, Uncle Jerry don't do no talking. Uncle Jerry ex-police. Uncle Jerry gets a lawyer. Uncle Jerry's lawyer does all the talking. He said, "First things first, look at Uncle Jerry." Uncle Jerry said, the FBI said, "What that mean?" Uncle Jerry's lawyer said, "The only way you're gonna get him to talk is if you give him a deal." The FBI said, "Uncle Jerry." Uncle Jerry said, the FBI said, "All right." Uncle Jerry tells them the only reason he started scamming in the first place is because remember that company he worked for, Simon Marketing? He said every time they ran the numbers and a winner from Canada would win, they would run the numbers again to ensure people from the USA won, because people from the USA spend more money on fast food. Meaning the monopoly game from McDonald's was a scam, even without Uncle Jerry. McDonald's comes in and says, objection. It was Simon Marketing. We hired them in audit. In fact, we just fired them right now and we suing them. Simon Marketing slides in and says, suing us? We suing you. Wrongful termination. We did our job. We ain't know Uncle Jerry was doing all that. McDonald's said, objection. The judge said, McDonald's, open your ears, not your mouth. Give Simon Marketing $16 million. Shut up. Uncle Jerry, you get 3 years. That's a good amount of information. McDonald's said, hold on. You talking about the dude who stole $30 million from us? He only get 3 years? The judge said, well, he didn't technically steal 30 million. He stole about 12 million. The rest of the millions he gave to like other people, and they all free to go too. McDonald's said, they gonna run me that. That's my money. They gonna run me that. Judge said, boy, you ain't a gross sister. Put your hand down. But everybody, give McDonald's back their money for real. About $100 a month for the rest of your life, which for all the money they stole and probably stashed away is pretty much nothing. The judge on top of that said, McDonald's, this scam ran for 12 years under your watch. People thought they were gonna win. They got scammed. You on trial. This whole fiasco was going to be the worst look for McDonald's. The trial was set to start September 10th, 2001. Everybody was ready for the downfall of McDonald's, and then the next day happened, and something else took over the media. And McDonald's quietly gives away $10 million in prizes to make up for the past 12 years of Jerry taking like $30 million in prizes. As for Jerry retires. People believe he had a secret stack of cash that he saved, and he lived out the rest of his life. Now, for those curious as to why basically the judge gave nobody jail time for this, I'm going to add this part to YouTube exclusively. It's the age-old saying in law. In fact, this might not be an age-old saying, but you see this in court cases a lot. It's not about what the police know, it's about what they can prove, okay? Think about it like this. You got Uncle Jerry, you got the middlemen, and then you got all the people who the middlemen gave those prizes to. They go to all the people who the middlemen gave the prizes to. They said, I mean, somebody walked over to me, they gave me a ticket. I thought they were joking. Or they say, hey, somebody gave me a ticket. I didn't believe it. I turned it in. It's difficult to prove those lower people were part of the scam. In fact, the FBI didn't even care about those lower people. When it comes to the FBI, they're only looking for the people on top. To take things further, when the FBI went to those lower people who took the prize money, if they just came out and admitted it, the FBI wouldn't even arrest them. They say, all right, sure, whatever, and leave. The people that didn't admit it, the FBI did take them in. But again, then those people said, oh, I thought it was a joke. I didn't know nothing. They get off. The middlemen, they technically got 1 year in prison, but even that was overturned to 0 years because all these middlemen people start denying things too. I don't know this person. I don't know that. FBI said, whatever. We don't care. Uncle Jerry, we got you though. He said, no, you don't. You all got McDonald's because I'm going to give them to you. They said, okay, bet. That's someone even higher than Uncle Jerry. They said, forget all these people. Uncle Jerry, you get 3 years. McDonald's? Yeah, the attorney general came down and he was about to go wild on McDonald's. That's a big case. It's going to get your name on the papers and all that. Then again, the date turns to September 11th. It's not a big media thing. So the FBI attorney general were like, oh my God. All right, McDonald's, just give us a bunch of money and whatever. So the FBI basically spent all that money on the investigation and one dude got 3 years.